week and I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. It's ridiculous. All right, so happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys had a good week last week as well as a good weekend. Oh, let me get my ambient noise set up. That's not it. How is everybody? Is there sound with this? There we go. Okay, we're good. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me turn off the overhead light so my lighting gets a little bit better. My lighting's all kinds of screwy. Woohoo! There we go. All better. Hey guys, how is everybody? We'll give everybody like 5-10 minutes to hop in and then we will read. Gotta make sure these stay turned off because I don't need you guys stalking me at work. So. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired. I did get my classwork in today. I was struggling. Like, I've been struggling for the last like 2-3 days to get my lab work in for my programming class. And I finally turned in today. It was due last night, but they don't take any points out if it's late. So I finally got it turned in. So that's good. Oh, I need a live goal. No. This is so weird. There we go. Fixed it. Seriously, how have you guys been? Y'all are so quiet tonight. I feel so lonely. Oh no. But yeah, we'll give her like 5-10 minutes and then we'll get started. We are still reading our book, Mall Lockdown. We are on chapter 21 of Mall Lockdown. So, trying to make sure, like, my regulars, they're all... There we go. Welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. We're about to get started with reading tonight. We are on chapter 21 of our book. We're reading Mall Lockdown, which is really good. I have really enjoyed this book so far. It is definitely birds are government drones. I don't think my chickens are. Pretty sure my chickens are real chickens. But yeah. So I've been enjoying Mall Lockdown so far as we've read. It's definitely not a kid's book. Like, you know how Star Wars books can often be like, oh, is it for kids? Is it not? Hey, Silver! This one, definitely not for children. This is definitely a more, I don't want to say graphic, because graphic is, to me, is a different kind of connotation, but I'm back! I'm not sick anymore! I was dying in bed all last week. I had like 102-degree fever like every day for a week. It was awful. And then the kids got sick. Oh. Yeah, this book is definitely way more violent than other books. So, and I'm no longer in TikTok jail. Yay! But I don't think it's pushing the live out to anybody because nobody seems to be hopping in except for you because I sent it to you. But yeah. I didn't send it to Luna. Luna. There we go. Yeah. I was sending out the live because, like, I was here for, like, 5 minutes and nobody was here. You got the email? Well, that's good. So, I'll give it, like, 5 more minutes and then I'll start reading. But yeah. It's good to be back. Eventually I'm gonna have to get something wrong, something with the lights, because, like, in order to light my face properly, they need to be at the side, but when they're at the side, they make these weird shadows with my glasses. I really don't want to switch to my contacts. I hate my contacts. And I can't do that, because I can't see now. So, welcome in. We're just giving everybody a couple minutes to get started. We are reading Mall Lockdown, which is kind of nice because we're leading up to the mall show this year. I know. Oh, nice. I pulled this out of my clean laundry. I need to do laundry desperately. I have not done laundry in like 3 weeks for myself. Like, I do the kids' laundry, and hubby does his own laundry. Yeah, Shadow Lord is gonna be so sweet. I cannot wait for Mall Shadow Lord. I'll be really curious to see, like, if they pull anything from... Sorry. I'll be really interested to see if they pull anything from the other mall books that we've read for the show. Hi, Gold Squad! Hi, Luna! I'm back. I'm not sick anymore. I'm not dying of whatever I had. I think it might have been COVID. 'Cause my friends' kids, who are now better, who were also sick at the same time as me and my kids, and we're together all the time, they had COVID. So I'm pretty sure I had COVID last week. Oops. So... yeah, pretty sure I had COVID last week. Well, I don't know if obviously I don't think they're gonna follow the book itself, but I wonder if they'll, like, pull some elements from the book to add into the show. I mean, because we've seen that. I mean, obviously, Heron and Kanan's son being named Jason, that's a pull from the books. A lot of, like, what's going on in the Ahsoka show and Thrawn is from Heir to the Empire. So... What prop did you order? Oh, by the way, update, guys. I will be at GalaxyCon on Friday. So I will be at GalaxyCon Richmond on Friday, working the Mandalorian Mercs table over in the Marriott. I think it's the Marriott. It's across the street. It's in the hotel. We're not in the same as the convention center because they keep throwing us across the street because they don't like fan groups, apparently. But I will be there on Friday, at least, for GalaxyCon for the Mercs. I will, however, not be able to meet Tamora Morrison, and I will not be able to meet Hayden Christensen. Because Hayden Christensen, I think, is only going to be there on Saturday and Sunday. And so I won't be able to see Hayden, and I won't be able to see Tamora Morrison. Not that I could afford it anyway. So, oh yeah! Nice. I've loved giant microbes since I discovered them in college. I still never got my mono one. So, I think the gang's all here, so if we're ready, we will read. And I am no longer in jail. Did you get COVID? I am no longer in jail. So, rules apply as usual. If we hit the live goal, then I will read 4 chapters. If we don't hit the live goal, then it'll just be 2 chapters. And yeah. So, and if my moderators, I think everybody who's here is a moderator, please make sure that there are no bots and I don't get reported again, because that was really sad. Alright, chapter 21. Spindle. They brought Maul up in the crowded service lift, 2 guards flanking him on either side, with another at his back, jamming the barrel of his blaster against his spine. Gazing up into the reflective surface of the lift's interior, he recognized the faces of Smite, the young recruit who had first screened him when he'd arrived. "What are you looking at?" Smite asked him. Maul's lower lip drew back enough to reveal his sharpened canines. "Touch me with that toy of yours again," he said, his voice utterly expressionless, "and you'll find out." Smite's face constricted, but he didn't poke Maul with the blaster again. When the lift came to a halt, the COs ushered him into the gleaming office, whose sleek and elegant interior couldn't have been more dissimilar from the rest of the prison. Stepping through the doorway, Maul saw the dark-haired woman with cold blue eyes standing just inside behind the desk. Her gaze was steady enough, but the smile on her face looked as if it had been glued into place by a pair of none too steady hands. "Inmate 11240, she said. "I'm Warden Siddiqui Blur. You'll forgive me if I don't shake your hand." Maul said nothing. "We've had some unforeseen developments down in Medbay this afternoon." She nodded at the monitors behind her. "Our surveillance of that time period is incomplete, and I'm hoping you'll be able to fill me in some of the gaps." Maul didn't respond. "You heard the warden," one of the guards said. Not Smite this time, but a heavy-set man with thick black eyebrows. "Tell her what you did to Voistock." "He had an accident," Maul said. "You're a carking liar," the guard snapped, reaching for his blaster. "Actually," Siddiqui said, waving him off, not taking her eyes from Maul, "I'm not even remotely concerned about what happened to Officer Voistock, or who was ultimately responsible for getting him exactly what was coming to him. By all accounts, he was as lazy as he was stupid, and he died in the process of aiding and abetting an ultimately unsuccessful escape attempt. None of which is particularly unusual around here, except that he went about it with remarkable clumsiness and incompetence." She gave a slight shrug. "Whatever fate befell him, I'm sure he deserved it. He will not be missed." Now her smile was different, absolutely confident, even radiant, and Maul realized that his initial assessment of the warden had been wrong. The nervousness he'd perceived had nothing to do more than an affectation, meaning to throw him off his game. In a strange way, he almost admired it. "What I am extremely interested in," Siddiqui continued, reaching behind her desk and taking out a tablet so that Maul could see it, "are these electroencephalograph readings. Perhaps you recognize them?" Maul glanced at the screen, watching the easy waveforms oscillating against it, rhythmic sine waves of deep sedation. "This is a recording of your brain activity from your initial med scream upon arrival at the Hive," the warden said. "And here you'll see something very peculiar." She tapped a switch, and the waveform jumped, lurching into an erratic, spiking landscape of sharp peaks and dips, and very specialized aspects of your cortex activating the droid that is never seen on any level of REM sleep. Apparently, this particular waveform is called an Omicron spindle. The droid says it's only been seen in certain very proficient telepaths, which makes you very special indeed. Maul's face remained cold and expressionless. Siddiqui reached out and touched his face, tracing her fingernails down the curvature of his jaw. Leaning in, she dropped her voice to a whisper. "You've got a secret, friend. And here's the crux of it. I don't think you're in my prison by accident, and I don't think you're here to fight." "Then maybe you should let me go," Maul said. "Oh?" she said with a smile. "I could never do that. Not now that you've become such a favorite at the galactic gambling community. You've become quite a star, Jagannath. That is what they're calling you, isn't it? The Tooth?" "Hi, 90s!" Maul stared at her narrowly. At length, his attention was drawn to the desk that occupied the far side of the office. Underneath it, something was glowing, very faintly, casting an almost imperceptible green light across the carpet. He looked up at Siddiqui, who still held the same tablet in her hand. "Let me see that." "This?" She hesitated a moment, then handed it to him. "Suit yourself." Maul took the tablet and regarded the flat display screen for a moment, where the waveforms of his brain electrical activity twitched and spiked. He shook his head. "This means nothing to me," he said, and with a flick of the wrist tossed it across the office so that it hit the floor under the desk. Siddiqui gazed at him serenely. She didn't seem at all bothered by this small outburst. If anything, it seemed to validate her own suspicion about who he was. You're quite an exceptional specimen, aren't you? Exquisitely trained, practically custom-built to survive in almost any environment. Fierce, quick, resourceful, and adaptable against any imaginable obstacle or opponent. A precision instrument of savagery. She paused, her voice softening slightly. In a way, you really are the perfect inmate for Coghive 7. You are the one we've been waiting for. Maul's eyes darted under the desk where the warden's tablet had landed. The display screen reflected upward to reveal what he thought might have been there. A tiny, streamlined piece of electronics emitting a faint green light from the underside of the desk. He gazed back at Siddiqui. Are we finished? Not quite. She gestured at the guards. Leave us. Smite appeared uncertain. Are you sure? Now! Siddiqui gestured them out with an impatient jerk of her head, shutting the hatchway behind them and sealing it. When she turned back to face Maul, her expression had changed yet again, becoming focused and intense. You weren't supposed to survive your match with the Wampa, she said. You've deduced that for yourself, I suppose, in fact. I'd be willing to bet that you are a great many things that you know, but you are not sharing with me. Like why you were searching for Iram Radiq. Maul's expression was unchanged. Is that a question? You may think your true purpose here can be kept secret, but rest assured. Her face twisted, becoming angular and harsh. There is nothing that goes on inside these walls that I won't find out about. You will inform me what you've already discovered about Radiq's whereabouts here, and who sent you to find him. She waited. Was it the Dasilic clan? The Hutts? Maul said nothing. Very well. She smiled, but there was no joy or pleasure in it. Have it your way. And in the meantime... Siddiqui's lips drew back slightly farther, showing just the lower rim of her teeth. Rest assured that I'm going to keep matching you. Eventually, I know you'll tell me everything. Maul didn't move. That all depends. On what? On who else is listening. She blinked at him, not comprehending. Meaning what? Maul nodded back at the desk. That device hidden under your desk is a miniature microphone. I'm guessing you didn't place it there yourself, which means you probably had no idea that it was there. What? Siddiqui turned away from him and went to the desk, bent down to look underneath it and yanked the device loose, and then stared back at Maul. The expression of shock and dismay in her eyes was profoundly gratifying. So, Maul said, I assume we're done here? What did I miss while I was reading? Really though, I hope that we get at least a fraction of what's been in this book. I like this one way more than I liked Shadowhunter. Like, there was nothing wrong with Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter was fine, and it was a fun book. Certainly not the most boring, but I definitely would like to have like at least some of this. I know it's not going to be taking place in a prison. Maybe that's the second season. Maybe this is going to be like Shadowhunter. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. The back and forth, though, was kind of annoying, where it's like, oh, we're with the Jedi. No, we're with Maul. We're with the Jedi. We're with Maul. For a book that's supposed to be about Maul, I expected more Maul. But this one I like. I hope we get some of this. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the show. Like, I have a feeling that it's gonna be pretty. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. But again, like, I think Disney is stuck between this rock and a hard place of, like, they're trying to have Star Wars remain family friendly, even though, like, some of the best Star Wars media that they could pull from, like Death Troopers, for example, or Lockdown, which are by the same author, you bring me a book when we get together? Oh, you don't have to bring me anything, Omni. Hey, I'm happy with the sweatshirt, which I need to wash. You know me, I love my 5 sweatshirt. I still like when I get to, like, people will walk up to me and they're like, oh, is that a Stormtrooper sweatshirt? I'm like, you're close. And they're like, Clone Trooper? I was like, getting warmer. Oh, it's Captain Rex, isn't it? And I was like, absolutely not. No, sir. Not Rex. It's Fives. And then they look at you like, Fives? Really? Why? Zombie Wookiees Disney. Yeah, I mean, so I think Disney is kind of stuck because they want to keep things family friendly because that's kind of their shtick. But, like, at the same time, you have, like, hardcore Star Wars fans that I would love to see Death Troopers in action. I don't know how they would do it because obviously Harrison Ford hates Star Wars and is too old to be playing young Han Solo. Which I suppose they could do, like, was it Taron Egerton? Is that who it was that was it Solo? So, like, I suppose you could bring back Taron Egerton as young Solo and do Death Troopers. Or maybe just don't have Solo in it. Maybe just, like, take that part out. And have a different character in there. I mean, obviously they can do that, so I would love to see something like Death Troopers be done by Disney. I don't foresee that happening necessarily, so I don't know, but it would be cool. It would be really, really cool. Star Wars Descendants. No, I don't think I'd like that one as much. I would love them to pull for some legacy. I would love to see them do, like, What If. I would love to see these Star Wars What If, and they do things, it does, like the old books, you know, which, like, do Star Wars What If, but do the Crystal Star, like, do the old school books that everybody really, really loved, the Jedi Academy books, Heir to the Empire, do some of those, even do some of the, like, Tales from Jabba's Palace, the Bounty Hunter Chronicles and stuff like that. I think people would really enjoy that, because I think it would get the old fans like myself and Mando Dad, who are super into the old stuff and the books and everything like that, my brother, I think that would bring in a lot of old fans, and I think it would introduce the next generation of Star Wars fans, like my kids, into the books, and you know, the Legends timeline, as it were. I would love to see more Night Sister content. I do like the Night Sister content. Also, I love the fact that one of the Night Sisters is from Farscape, so that I got to have one of my Farscape actors in Star Wars was kind of nice. Claudia Black is one of the Night Sisters, so Hocus Night Sisters. Yeah, and doing devices heating up. What do you mean my device is heating up? Can it not handle all this? Oh no! Hang on. I think it's because I have Canva up. 1 second. There we go. I'm back. Sorry. Too many apps open trying to, like, fix my phone because it said my phone was getting too hot. Yeah, I know. I had to turn off all of the other apps because it was saying my phone was getting too hot. So that happens sometimes. Yeah, I'm back. I just had to fix the other apps. I turned everything off. Because I had, like, Canva up and I had Claude. Because I wrote last week and now I'm finally feeling better enough to film it. With the help of Claude, because it's about AI. I had AI help me write a Death Star IT sketch. Because my job recently, I keep getting put on meetings that are just corporate buzzwords. It's literally just an hour-long meeting where somebody in charge says, we're gonna synergize productivity and maximize potential and all of those corporate buzzwords that you can think of. They use all of them multiple times in an hour-long meeting, and you don't actually find out what the project is about. Like, I've been put on a project that I'm supposed to dedicate 2 to 4 hours a week on, and no one has given me any kind of specific about it. other than I am just supposed to optimize production. But nobody has really said what thing they want me to optimize or what production because I'm not in production. I'm an individual contributor. It's really weird, like, with what my role is, and so I'm very confused as to what I'm being asked to do. And I don't know how to ask the question without sounding dumb. So yeah. Alright. We shall continue. Chapter 22. Blue Witch. Oh, that sounds fun. In his errands for the IBC, handling millions of credits for clients whose financial privacy was vital, Festo Slifer traveled with the usual arsenal of security and surveillance disruptors. Most were standard electromagnetic emitters, iron pulse shredders, and white noise generators, gray market gear designed to foil any unwanted wiretaps or recording devices that might compromise his client's confidentiality. He also traveled with surveillance gear of his own, including the bug that he'd placed under Warden Blur's desk. These days, he'd scarcely given any of these instruments a second thought as he installed them around whatever workspace he'd been given. Their deployment was, for him, as unremarkable as unpacking his overnight bag. But this time he'd brought along something special. A gift from Blanking Clan's lab techs. Hang on. I see a blue moon rising. Type stuff into Star Wars. We're still beta testing it, the tech on Munilist had told Slifer before he departed, handing him a featureless blue tube about the size and width of his index finger. We call it the Blue Witch. Poetic, the Mun said dryly. The tech shrugged. It creates a void on the most sophisticated security holocams, like a lens flare except transparent, and it follows you around the room. Works on all electronics, audio and video. Completely understandable. Undetectable. Careful, though. He tapped a button on the bottom and the thing blinked instantly to life. She runs hot. Slifer had inspected the device and shook his head, handing it back. I've got my own equipment. The tech crossed his arms. He wants you to take it. He does? I spoke to him personally. He wants to be assured that you've taken every precaution. And so Slifer had brought the thing along with him, now sitting in his guest quarters off an unfinished upper level of Coghive 7. He switched on the Blue Witch and waited for his holo unit to activate. A high-frequency whine shivered through the air, and with a few seconds he found himself face-to-face with the Mun who had sent him here. Oh, guess what Mun it is? We've already talked to him in this book, but it's always fun to have him pop up. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I'm using an NCS thing, so I don't get in trouble with, any of the gods. So it's just it's relaxation ambient music. Hopefully it's relaxing you all. I feel like we all need some relaxation these days, right? Right? Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. But yeah, guess who we're gonna talk to now? Guess what? It's all of our favorite Mun. Honestly, if you could name more than one Mun, I would be really proud, but it's everybody's favorite Mun. Who's everybody's favorite Mun? Come on. Let's hear it in the comments. The Munilist financier. You know, when art imitates life. Okay, you have a Mun who was head of the Banking Clan, super hot financier, who basically pulled the strings on the entire galaxy, making sure that the evil man got put into power, right? He had his own, special little lab on its own special little asteroid, kind of like an island, where he did all kinds of experiments and threw parties and did all kinds of evil and terrible things. Art imitates life. A high-frequency whine shivered through the air, and within a few seconds he found himself face-to-face with the Mun who had sent him here, arguably the most intimidating presence that he'd ever encountered. Magister Damask, Slifer said, bowing slightly. Slifer. Higo Damask was wearing a long-sleeved robe and transpirator mask. In the background, the holofeed captured just the faintest hint of whatever he was currently occupying, an elaborate fortress on the jungle moon of some sort. Slifer thought he could make out the cry of exotic birds in the distance. You've taken all the necessary precautions for this transmission? Yes, Magister. And what have you learned? Slifer felt a thin blade of anxiety slide upward from his stomach to press against his chest cavity. Though he'd only spoken twice with Higo Damask before departing for Coghive 7, he'd intuitively grasped that when it came to relaying bad news, it made no sense to waste time. Distressingly little, I'm afraid. Yeah, they're the Inquisitor from Rebels is immune. Immune, not immune. Immune. Really? Damask's tone was impossible to read. That is disappointing. Have you made contact with Maul? No, not directly, no. But the device that I planted in her office allowed me to listen in on a conversation between him and the Warden. He denies knowing anything about Radiq. Denies, in fact, that he's ever been dispatched here to find him. Damask's eyes narrowed. So he doesn't know that I sent you? No, Magister. I was under the impression that you wanted your name kept out of it. Slifer waited, feeling a thin film of perspiration gathering around his skin. Was I mistaken? For a long time, Damask said nothing. Perhaps Maul's true mission here is more secret than I was led to believe. If we knew who his control was, Slifer began. I know who his control is, Damask barked. That is not the issue. Slifer nodded hesitantly. Sir, if I may... What is it? Is it possible that Iram Radiq isn't on Coghive 7, or anywhere for that matter? With no way of knowing how the hypotheses might be perceived, he drew in a breath and pressed on. Surely you've heard the speculation that the man himself doesn't truly exist, that he's, well, a sort of ghost. A ghost? A construct fabricated by a cabal of arms dealers? A false front created to intimidate the competition? I mean, the fact that no one has ever actually seen Radiq and lived to speak of it, perhaps Maul is discovering that for himself. Slifer's voice cracked and he stopped long enough to swallow and steady himself. Or someone has gotten to him. Sorry. Again, Damask did not respond right away, choosing to simply gaze back at Slifer over the bridge of his breathing mask. Then he reached out a view of the hollow. For a moment, Slifer feared he was going to cut off the transmission, but instead a wash of data sprang up, superimposed over the visual transmission. Bright columns of digits and various ports of call rising over Damask's face. 18 standard months ago, Damask said, a Vigo from the Black Sun Syndicate docked an unlicensed shuttle out of Gateway. The destination was Coghive 7. That particular cargo was a load of stolen Tarashi explosives and had gone missing from a Blastech heavy ordnance satellite the previous year. 6 months later, the same shuttle docked again. This time it was carrying a load of beradium. May I ask where you acquired this? It doesn't matter, Damask said brusquely. You could have easily uncovered it all yourself if you had lived up to your reputation as an analyst. Magister, those specific ingredients... Slifer stared at the hollow, struggling to absorb what was being said along with the columns of data. The conclusion was unavoidable. You think someone's actually manufacturing thermal detonators here on Coghive 7? Or worse? I can't imagine... All their intelligence indicates the most recent shipment to arrive was less than a month ago. Orbital detection identified the payload as weapons-grade depleted uranium. Apparently the Star Wars universe has weapons-grade depleted uranium in Star Wars. What? Okay. They couldn't have given it a more Star Wars-sounding name. It has to be... Okay. For the first time, Vestos Slifer realized that he had nothing to say. Not that it mattered. Damask seemed to have grown tired of listening to him. Iram Radiq is not a ghost, Damask said, nor is he a construct, a false front, or a figment of communal galactic imagination. He is real. Given the facts at hand, there can be no doubt that he is alive and well and operating somewhere inside Coghive 7. And depending on whichever high-grade ordnance he may be manufacturing next, I have reason to believe that Maul's mission may represent a greater threat to galactic stability and my own personal safety than even he is aware of. So you're asking me to... I'm asking you to stop hiding your inadequacy under the presence of an idiotic speculation.
Damask snapped. And do your job. Get the information before Maul does. Deliver to me, and me alone. Yes, Magister. In the meantime, Damask said, you may find it helpful to remember that until you have satisfied your assignment, you can consider yourself a permanent resident of that prison. Is that clear? Absolutely, sir. And may I add, if I have disappointed you in any way... But it was too late. The hollow was cut short, and taking Damask's face and the data flow with it, Slifer was talking to dead air. There we go. Ouch. What's ouch? Yeah, I know. No bricks. There can be no bricks in Star Wars. Or zippers. Or snaps, for that matter. Because, what is it? Star Wars Theory? Who gets mad at all of that? It's so dumb. But that was our reading for tonight. Yeah, staying in the prison. That's rough. I wouldn't want to do that. No, ma'am. Alright, I would stay on until 11 o'clock tonight. Oh, I'll stay on for a little bit longer, but I am sleepy. I'm still recovering. Like, I feel better. Like, my fever's gone, but I am still, like, I'm still dragging. How was my weekend? It was good. It was mostly spent recovering from being sick. But I did get it. Mini Mando had play practice, and Mini Mando and Tiny Mando both leveled up in Taekwondo. So Mini Mando is now a red stripe, and Tiny Mando is yellow belt. And what else? I tried to get my greenhouse up and running, but I ordered the wrong size cover. Oops. So I had to order some more tarping for it, I guess, is the way I'm gonna take apart the one that I bought, because I can't find one for the one I have a 16-foot greenhouse. Like, it's a pop-up greenhouse, but I have a 16-foot one, and so Mando Dad accidentally got a little too close and overzealous with the trimmer and shredded the door on it, and then I was gonna just repair that, and then the snow just shredded the whole thing. So swimming pool for the kids? No, we don't have a swimming pool. My in-laws have a swimming pool, so if the kids really want to go swimming, I will take them to my in-laws' house, but no, we don't have a swimming pool, and I have no interest in ever putting one in. I'm hoping this summer I can get a pond put in. I have a pond that needs dug out. I have the liner for it and everything. So, I was hoping I could pay some teenagers like $200-300 each to shovel it out. Yes, I would like to put in a duck pond. Which is more like, I love ducks. It's more as a weed and bug control, because mosquitoes are so rampant in our area, and just all kinds of other like ticks and stuff like that. I wanted to get ducks because they are a lot better at hunting for bugs and weeds than chickens are. Chickens serve their own purpose, but I don't have a duck yet. I don't have any ducks yet. I don't have a pond. I have to have a pond first. So yeah, and then I have to figure out how I'm gonna keep the ducks safe from a hawk. So in addition to a duck, I also have to get a goose. So, and a real goose at that, not a porch goose. Yeah, so what will probably end up happening is I'll get the pond dug out, and then I will get a singular goose and probably like 3 or 4 ducks. And then, yeah, I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna keep them safe at night, because the chickens and the ducks would probably share a house because I don't really have the space. to build a separate duck house. But I don't know. Because of how rampant predators are here, I don't want to lose my ducks. So I don't like losing my chickens either. So I am down to 2 chickens between predators and rat poison, because my neighbors use rat poison. But cats will not defend. Oh, are you saying cats go after the ducks? Maybe. I don't really notice a whole lot of cats. It's mostly like hawks and foxes and coyotes and raccoons and possums are really the big, I don't know, predator problems. The most being hawks. Hawks are the ones that are the worst, which is why I want to get a goose, because geese... Oh, cats defending the birds. Yeah. So here's the problem with a cat. I am horribly allergic to a cat. Like, I'm very allergic to cats. And so in order to get a cat that will protect my flock, I would have to get a kitten. And the kitten would have to live in my house until it's old enough to live outside. And since I am deathly allergic to cats, that won't happen. Like, there was that whole debacle with Thrawn, my puppy Thrawn, that was supposed to be an Aussie Doodle that turned out to be just an Aussie Labrador mixed together. So shed a lot of dander, gave me an asthma attack. Not fun. Ducks can sleep in my garage at night. My garden is really far away from my garage. So we have a 1 acre, so our lot is 1 acre, in a, you know, HOA neighborhood. So my garage is kind of like, my garden is at the back corner of the yard. So the ducks can't sleep in the garage. That'd be really far away. There are ways that I could do it. I could basically put a wall inside my chicken coop. And then just have like that section, like there's a door on either end, so I could just have that sort of section where the chickens or the ducks could go in and out, because ducks are not ducks are like cats. So ducks don't sleep at night like chickens do. Ducks are kind of they're neither nocturnal or diurnal. They kind of like nap throughout the day. And will wake and go and do stuff. Nighttime, daytime doesn't seem to really matter, from what I understand. So, I don't know about... I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. First, I gotta put a pond in. So the pond is the primary thing, and then I'll worry about the rest of the details later. But yeah. So anyway, as far as live schedule goes this week, I will be live Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday for sure. Thursday is a maybe. I don't know if we're playing D&D on Friday, so I'm going to put the live as Thursday for right now, because we're probably going to play D&D on Friday, hopefully. And my DM is not like gone. Even if he is gone, I might try and do a D&D stream if I can get the story written well enough for my little noggin idea for a D&D campaign that would be like when we can't play. So anyway, if you live in the Richmond area, or you're planning on coming to GalaxyCon Richmond, come say hi to me on Friday at the Mandalorian Mercs table. You like to donate. What would you like to donate? You want to donate to my Meet Tamora Morrison fund so he can call me princess? No, don't do that. I wish I could meet him and have him call me princess. That would be funny though. That would be very hilariously funny, because I would probably die. To be called princess in person by Tem. That would probably do something to me. Not gonna lie. Wish you could do a live meetup. Well, yeah, but you're in Canada now. You're not in Minnesota anymore. I could say I could come visit you in Minnesota next time I go to Wisconsin, and yes, I realize that those are not the same place, but they're closer than I currently am. Hi, Victor! I am doing much better than I was last week, so I'm pretty sure last week I had COVID. That's my guess, because some other kids recently had COVID, and they got COVID this week, and that would explain why I felt so god-awful. And why I have this, like, lingering tightness in my chest. It's a little, we can see this for you. Aw, thank you, Victor. Come join us on Wednesday. We're gonna be reading more on Wednesday. We finished our reading for tonight already. I gotta figure out how I can set up a GoFundMe. What heat level can you handle? Like, what heat level can I eat? What are we talking about here? It depends. Like, if we're talking about hot sauce, I can handle pretty hot sauce in small doses. So, like, I have, Zombie Apocalypse Sauce by Torchbearer Sauces, which was their second hottest. I don't remember what you promised, Omni. I don't remember what I had for lunch today. No. I like hot sauce. I love hot sauce. But I like heat that's gradual. So I like it where it's like the first... Oh, that's right, tacos! Yeah. Tacos would be good. I know, I like hot stuff, that builds. I like spice that builds. I don't like, where you just get, like, blasted in the face with heat. I like it if it builds and it's a flavor heat. Like, does that make sense? Like, really good, I love good, spicy food, but I like it where, like, I don't want to put it down just because it's hot. Like, I think there's, like, a TikTok sound for it that would make sense. It hurts, but it's good hurt. And it tastes, the flavor is so good and so rich and so there that even though, like, another bite is going to, like, rip my face off, I want to eat more because the flavor is there. It's gotta have, like, heat and flavor, if that makes sense. It can't just be, like, punch you in the face with heat. It's gotta taste good. You know, it's gotta have, like, the garlic. There's like a chocolate hot sauce that I really like. It's kind of like a mole sauce, but it's got a good flavor profile where, like, it hurts to eat, but you gotta keep drinking. You gotta keep drinking is what it would be. It's like, you gotta keep drinking. You gotta keep drinking. Like, and I want to keep going. My mouth hurts, but they have a what? They have a what? What has a what? It's a good hurt? I don't know. Like, I'm describing this poorly. But yeah, the idea is that it's gotta be a flavorful heat. It can't just be, like, blast you in the face with pain. It's a chocolate hot sauce. Yeah. It was a long time ago that I had it. Because my brother loves hot sauces. He's got a collection of hot sauce. Please do a video. Do a video, please. Chill? What? Huh? Do a video, please. Chill? Was I getting too antsy? I should probably go to bed. Oh, a video of hot sauces. I mean, I could. I have to find my chocolate hot sauce. Oh, it's okay, 90s. It's whatever. But yeah, my favorite hot sauce is Zombie Apocalypse Sauce. I always keep a bottle around because I love it's spicy. Do a hot one, Cells at Work cosplay. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get my Cells at Work cosplay though before the con. I'm trying to get my armor knocked out. I have to get my armor finished by the last weekend in March. And I have to get I need to get my soldering iron out so I can finish Padme and do my app photos. Which I'm still trying to figure out, like, how do I get these parts to stay in place while I weld them together? I mean, I could do a Hot Ones video, but yeah, I keep the Torchbearer zombie apocalypse sauce downstairs at all times. Because, like, you know how, like, sometimes it'll be, like, this is gonna sound really weird. Every year, in December, my pastor does the pastor's chili supper. And so he makes chili for the entire church. Like, a big giant vats of it. And, like, we all get together in fellowship, and it's great. Well, he makes a really, really, really good vegetarian chili, which I am not a vegetarian. But the one year, like, everybody had gotten the meat chili, and there was, like, this big giant pile of vegetarian chili, so I felt bad, so I ate the vegetarian chili. And it turned out to be really, really good. But it doesn't have any heat because it would kill most of the old white ladies in the church. And so, like, the chili isn't spicy at all. So I bring my own hot sauce with me to the church to, like, punch up the chili. But his vegetarian chili with, like a just good smidgen. Not a lot, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want the heat to burn my face off. I want it to, like, build up. Okay, but I am not a gringa, okay? I can handle heat. I like spice. I like heat. You know what? If you are like, we're gonna take you to eat, like, tacos, they're gonna blast your face off, but don't worry, they're gonna taste really good, I am so down for that. I look like this, okay? I look like gringa, but I am not that. I am honestly, like, if I ever get to Miami, my old boss said he's gonna take me to the Cuban restaurant because he's like, you're the only white person that I'll ever know that would actually, like, behave themselves and eat all of the food. And I was like, you're right. Anyway, that's me. I love food from all over the place. Like, I made someone's day over the weekend because they made arepas, and I was like, she's like, yeah, I made arepas, and I was like, oh, you made arepas, I'm so excited. And she goes, how do you know about arepas? And I was like, well, it started because of watching Encanto, and then because they made them in Encanto, I wanted to know what they were, and I wanted to try them, and I found someone who made them, and then I really liked them, and so, like, I despite the fact that I'm on a GLP-1, I would still love to travel the world on my stomach, because I feel like food is the best way to communicate with each other. Food and faith. Which sounds weird because you always don't talk about religion with others, and I always, in my case, I want to learn about your religion because I want to know how it plays a role in your life. Same thing goes with food. I want to know what food brings you joy. What food, there's that, your grandma that you love, absolutely, like, what's the one dish that you would have from your grandma just one more time because that's just the dish that makes you think of all of the happy memories that you ever had with her. I feel like food is a very powerful way to communicate who you are as a person, who your family is, who your culture is. Like, I feel like food is a really good way to encompass people. And it sounds weird. Food and faith are the two things that I feel like encompass who people are in a way that, like, I can learn a lot about someone by how they practice their faith and what they love to eat. Which is just, like, it's a weird thing for me, but that's how I see the world. Like, my sister from Thailand, she's Buddhist. I will ask her questions about Buddhism that she doesn't even think that I would be interested in. I was like, I'm not going to convert. I have no interest in conversion. I'm happy with my faith. But, like, I feel like that's an integral part of who she is. And so in order to better understand her and where she comes from, that's why I want her to teach me about it. Yes. But she made arepas and I think it's chicharrones. I think that's how I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not sure. It's the pork fat, the crispy pork fat. I think that's chicharrones. But fresh, not like pork rinds that you would get in the grocery store. This was like fresh. Anyway, it was really, really good. Everybody else brought donuts, but I had arepas and chicharrones, and I was very excited. Um, and she was just excited that I knew what they were. Because she was from Colombia and yeah. I also love Chilean. I think it's, or not Chilean. It's Brazilian cheese bread. I love Brazilian cheese bread. Oh, I could eat that all day long. So I don't know. The next time I get to travel internationally, I look forward to trying more new and interesting foods. Just because, again, I think that that's a really good way to experience culture. Because people there's, like, when I cook, there's so much love and so much feeling and energy that goes into cooking for me that, like, I don't know. Yeah. Plus, there's, like, things that, like, I can think of, like, there's tastes that they're memories that are associated with a taste. So if I want to, like, remember, like, everything about going to my grandpa's house on Sunday afternoons with my parents, I think about the taste of his cherry pie. Because my grandfather was a baker. My mom's dad was a baker, and he would bake cherry pie, apple pie, vanilla crumb pie, which I've never made at home, but that was one of my favorites. He'd make chocolate chip muffins and fosnuts and all these things. And, like, if I want to remember, like, everything about, like, what the kitchen sounded like and what it smelled like and what his voice sounded like, I think about that taste. And then all of the memories are there. If that makes sense. So, like, I can imagine, like, all the sights and smells and sounds from a taste. And the taste I remember the most. But I don't know if that's weird. That's probably just me. That's how my spicy brain works. I made myself hot chocolate tonight because I was cold. It was so nice on Saturday and Sunday. It was like 60, 70 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, and now it's like 40 degrees again. But I mean, usually it's like a smell that brings back a memory, but it's like, for me, it's different things bring up different memories. So, like, that, if I really want to like go back into that memory of, like, my whole family being my grandfather's kitchen, it's that taste. But if I want to remember, like, being at my grandma's house, so that my dad's mom that just recently passed away in 2024, but that's the one that really, the woman who helped raise me, if I want a memory, like, trying to remember, like, those happy, calm moments from your childhood, it's the sound of mourning doves, with a wind chime. Because when I was really little, my grandmother did not turn on the air conditioning. She would always have the windows open. And so in the summertime, when I'd be put down for a nap in the back bedroom, the windows would be open, and she had a wind chime that hung right outside my window. And so I would hear the wind chime and the mourning doves, because she had a bird feeder out there too. And so again, like, that noise brings me a really good sense of peace, because I can think of, like, being safe and warm and really comfy and cozy in my grandma's house, laying down for a nap from that sound. And I'm sure it's totally weird. Like, but those are the things that, like, I don't know, they make me happy. They make me feel good. When I'm feeling super stressed, I try and, when I'm working on it, that when I feel super anxious and I feel super stressed, that I try and take myself back to those moments to, like, reset. Doesn't always work, but I try. But those are good memories, and yet I forget all the time to, like, take my meds or brush my teeth, or, you know, until like 30 minutes after I've left the house or something like that. I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. So anyway, it is 11 o'clock. I have been live for an hour. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys not tomorrow. Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will read the next 2 books. If you're not already following me on the other places, make sure that you are, because I sometimes will stream gaming on there on an off night. So, but anyway, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow. Remember, we're all in this together. We have friends everywhere. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night. And to all my YouTube viewers and my Twitch viewers,